Buddy, welcome back to the fascinating world of astrology. In this video, I want to review last weekend's football, mainly once more, and go through some examples that stood out and was presenting. No, it was fun. For those of you, or before we get to this, for those of you who saw my last video, in the end of it, there was a kind of a cliffhanger when I mentioned Benzema would score on that evening. And I was completely wrong, I have to say. I said he would score, but in fact, he scored twice. So, really bad prediction, wasn't it? You see here, this is the chart of Benzema from Real Madrid, and you see the sun with Uranus within half a degree in Sagittarius, and that match that was Thursday, Copa del Rey, or what's it called? They played at Girona, and the match started with Moon Venus right there. So I said that Benzema would score, and as said before, it was only half right. Well, he scored twice, pretty much in the beginning, with this transits passing over his sun Uranus, so that was good. Now for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, make it one after the other, and let's look at the Friday first. And this day in the afternoon, among other things, it saw the Asian Cup final that happened in Abu Dhabi, or where it was. Yes, and it was played between Japan and Qatar, miraculously. No one knows how, really, but so it was. And for those of you who read John Frawley, in this book on sport astrology, this is the final chart, and this is as much as bad as it can get for the favorite in a match like this. Because the Lord of the first house, the Sun, is exactly in the second cusp. It's in the hand of the enemy, the underdogs. No chance to win. They are in the hand of the enemies. And believe it or not, or you may have seen it, Japan lost over Qatar 3-1, I think it was. And yeah, it was a big surprise, and Qatar was 4-1 underdog. And this is a perfect example of Frawley method on finals, on charts for events for finals. So yeah, that was interesting. Well, second league, Germany saw Hamburger SV playing also on a Friday evening. And before we get to that, maybe let's get back to the Asian Cup chart, only to look what's going on in the heaven in general. And over the weekend, of course, we had the Mars running into a square with Pluto. And if you followed the news, of course, during these days, there was the US, in mundane terms, they ended the contract INF, or what it's called, with rockets over Russia, and that was a big thing. On sets, I think on Friday, here Mars went into square with Pluto, and on Saturday, the Moon joined here and repeated this thing, kind of. And headlines on that weekend were all over this, and everybody was talking about Cold War, and that must be war for Mars, I guess, and cold for Pluto. And yes, and another thing that happened during this time was that there was a meteorite exploded over Cuba somewhere. There was an explosion in the air and stones raining. Nobody was hurt, but that was also pretty much a Pluto-Mars kind of event, I'd say. So only there's a statement to what was going on the weekend. And a guy who was called by this Mars Pluto square as well was the coach from HSV, second league, head of the table, want to get back to Bundesliga. And you see here this moon chart for this guy, and Mars was pretty much on this spot, and Pluto by square, and yeah, we question what's happening. And they got a big disappointment because they lost 2-0, I think, and in a match that was like a planned victory to them. And that also kind of fits with the, well, experiencing the Mars Pluto by square kind of thing, I'd say. Okay, with this we go to Saturday, and this is another chapter. Saturday saw a match Leicester against Manchester United, who are on a high again with their new manager. And here, this was so remarkable because the event chart had the moon on 0 Aquarius, as you see here, 30.5 degrees Aquarius. And if you look at the moon chart for this new guy, Solskjaer, the manager from Manchester United, his Jupiter is exactly there. So the moon of the match was picking on that Jupiter exactly. And this is one of the recipes, like with a good chance, without looking at anything else, that this guy will have a happy day out or so. And so it happened, because they won with an early goal, 1-0 over Leicester City. Yes, I'll leave that for you to research on this. And in Germany, we saw, for example, Hoffenheim meeting Düsseldorf. Düsseldorf, minor club, struggling, but had some success recently. And the manager is like the oldest, he's record holder, oldest player, coach, whatever. He's been always there. Friedhelm Funkel is his name. He's really old, born in 53. And where I could do an own video on this guy, maybe do it actually sometime. On that Saturday, they had got a draw in Hoffenheim, which was certainly a surprise. And you can note here that the sun is almost 18 degrees in Sagittarius, and this was pretty much exactly the position of Jupiter on that Saturday. And apart from that, Mars, as shown before, was here and picking with his Mars, Jupiter trine. So you get a figure here with Jupiter, Mars, and the Mars in transit, which is also a pretty good picture or recipe. And yes, main thing as well as that, Jupiter on the Sun. So they got the draw, which was nobody expected really. Again, here's the event chart. You see Jupiter is right there. So Jupiter on the Sun is always a good thing, although it's not like a promise, or exceptions are always there. But okay. With this we go to Sunday already, and take a step with a foot into tennis for a moment, because there was a tournament in St. Petersburg was on, and it was won by a Dutch woman, Kiki Bertens. She's number 8 in the world. She's always around, but doesn't win really ever so often. But she won this tournament, and her 6th title or so in her career. And you can see here, this is her birthday, 10th December. The Sun is here, and Jupiter was right there. I had her on the list for Australian Open earlier already, but she didn't make it there. You never know, where the Sun really is within the day or so. This is speculation the first time, I have to say. But in this week, she was unbeatable and got her title, and with the Sun, Jupiter. And okay, another chapter once again. I want to talk about Manchester City, and their master scorer, Agüero, from Argentina, I think. Oops. And statement before we get to the football. He has got this, yes, this fashion with this really embarrassing hair style that's coming, and because he is wearing this gray hair, and I think it's really embarrassing seeing these old people, old men running, playing football. It's really strange, it's really odd. I don't know what to say about it. It's some silver gray stuff, pretty much like in this cute picture up here. This is what he wears, wearing his hair like at the moment. Take a look. And whenever you see this, Lewandowski had this illness last season, you can be pretty sure that the person has got some Saturn stuff going on. And so does Aguero, I guess, because you see this is a, I don't know actually, is this a speculated birth time or something? The moon is here on 12 Capricorn, and the true birth time pretty much, I guess, is like with the moon on the transit Saturn that's moving over here. I don't know how long he's wearing this gray hair already, but it's a way to rectify the chart, I'd say. Pretty much sure thing to do. But that's not the main thing. He did play some football, not too bad, because he made a hat-trick, scored all 3 goals when City won 3-1 over Arsenal. And that's really interesting, remarkable, because look where Venus is in the event chart. It is on 2942, and going back to Aguero, his Uranus is on 2945, so that's 3 minutes, that's extra close. And with Venus on Uranus, like Venus is of course the pleasure, sugar and spice, and all things nice. And Uranus often is the chain reaction thing, you know. Uranus, whenever you see like the 3 goals in a minute or 2 minutes kind of thing in a match, you can be pretty sure that Uranus is involved somehow. It's the chain reaction thing, and it's like in the atom bomb with metal urane, where you have the chain reaction. And this is not a joke, it really is like that. So he started in the first minute already, which also is like pretty descriptive, and yeah, continued to score his 3 goals on that night. Again, I have to rush already. Jumping over Gomez from VfB Stuttgart, he got a red card. I thought he would score, but he got a red card. You can like research this for yourself. The Sun was on his Jupiter, Mars was on his Moon. Well, let's not get into it. I want to at least present this from Monday. That was when we had the full new moon, really, here in the middle of Aquarius. And Valencia, really with this new moon, played against Leganes. And this is the manager from Leganes. And you see here that Mars-Jupiter thing. And it's pretty exact. The new moon fell on his Mars, where it is in trine with Uranus. And that sounds promising, and indeed they won 2-1. Although they received a red card and still made it. That's not too bad. And for the end, I'm jumping over another thing here again, and because tonight it's Tuesday, February 5th, and there's DFB Pokal Cup in Germany, and I want to like feature one guy because he doesn't score so often, and it reminds me, it's similar to the Aguero thing, because tonight Venus is on, or he's born with this tight Venus-Uranus, and transit Venus is right there now tonight. So he may score a goal against Werder Bremen. And his odds are good because he doesn't score so often, so see what's happened there. I think I have my 15 minutes and I have to finish this. So I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe my channel, guys.